Hey guys, welcome to my review of Mission Impossible Season 1, Episode 16, entitled The Reluctant Dragon. In this episode, the IMF gets entrusted with smuggling an important scientist out from behind the Iron Curtain in Russia. This episode to me was particularly interesting from the outset because it deals with questions of trust, loyalty, and overall belief in one's country. I thought that it posed an interesting quandary in that when the professor's wife chose to defect, he did not go with her. As a matter of fact, he chose to stay behind in an effort to fight the good fight and eventually, maybe one day, make his country a little bit better. That particular story plot rang true to me in that I know someone in my personal life who has a vested interest in the country where he came from. As a matter of fact, it can be said that he loves the country where he came from, despite his country at this point in time being in a state of civil unrest. He valiantly believes that at some point the people of his country, by example, will get better. That may happen in the subsequent years, but unfortunately I believe that my friend won't see the liberation of his country. As a matter of fact, I believe that I will see the liberation of his country when that eventually does happen. To see that inner struggle that the scientist character has throughout the episode is really fascinating. A couple of scenes in particular when Rollins' character, in an effort to get through to the professor that he is there to help him, convinces the quote-unquote bad guy of this episode to put the professor behind lockup with the other political prisoners. And it's that scene in particular that gives the professor the shock of his life. His government isn't really truthful to what they specifically said to the public. So just to see that particular scene and just to see the professor's faith in his country be shattered was particularly effective. The one thing that I did find quite odd throughout the course of the episode is up top we are told that the professor is working on some sort of missile for his country, but it is never really, that story plot is never really brought to fruition, in that the Russian security officer who basically has control of the country never really specifically says why he has the professor under captivity, whether he knows about the professor's plans to build a super missile for the country or whether he's just doing it to be a mustache twirling villain. It's never really specifically stated what the security officer's plans are for the professor. And that, in my opinion, was a missed opportunity by the writers to give the quote-unquote bad guy a some sort of a narrative story plot in this episode. Other than that, I thought that he was really one-dimensional and there was really nothing to him. Although the actor who played him did play him with some vigor, so I did appreciate that aspect of it. For the most part, I did enjoy this episode. I thought that the specific questions it asked were very, very well thought out. For my money, they weren't executed to its full potential. So with that in mind, my grade for this episode would be a C-. Alright guys, so that does it for my review of Mission Impossible Season 1, Episode 16, entitled The Reluctant Dragon. In the comments below, If you've seen this episode, tell me what you thought about it, tell me what you liked about it, tell me what you didn't like about it. But until next time, as always, I'll see you when I see you.
So much happened here, and so much is about to.